Welcome to this session on AI-powered digital shelf analytics. Today, we're going to talk about the digital shelf and cover its challenges, opportunities, and what's needed to win. My name is Dave Copeland. I'm the Director of Sales Engineering here at Inriver, and I'm happy to take you through the following content. First, let's start talking about the definition of the digital shelf. As consumers, when we're shopping in the physical store, we're shopping the physical shelf. When we're shopping online, we're shopping the digital shelf. Whether it's on our desktop or our mobile, that's the digital shelf that we're browsing. And in this session, it's all about the digital shelf and diving into the analytics. Digital shelf analytics is the art of understanding what happens on these digital shelves, so we're able to sell more in all of the channels. Hopefully, as consumers, we don't run into those scenarios too often. But what we can see, if we look back 15 years, that the revenue attributed coming from e-commerce was only a couple of percent. It's come a long way. If we look at today, it's nearly 20%. Obviously, there's a difference by industry. There's some variance in B2C and B2B, but in general, there's been massive increase in e-commerce presence. In fact, a couple of years from now, there's an estimate that one in every $4 will come from e-commerce. This is not to suggest that the physical store is dead. By all means, I'm not saying that. If we actually take a look at Walmart, they do a pretty decent business, 570 billion, which is basically the same as Sweden's GDP. And 88% of their sales are still coming from in-store. So we're not suggesting that in-store is going away, but what we are suggesting is that e-commerce and online sales are important. And we're going to spend some time here talking about the frustrations that we as consumers might have while we're shopping online, right? The customer journey begins online in a lot of cases, and our tolerance, if you've ever gone online to buy a particular product, is just a few seconds. If you get there and you're not seeing exactly what you want or what you need, or the content is bad, a few seconds later, you'll move on. In fact, we see this in shipping times as well. We're expecting, used to be a couple of days shipping, then it was a day shipping. Now we want something to arrive at our door in 30 minutes. This is a very different dynamic than what we see in the store. You may be perfectly willing to wait in a long line around the holidays at a physical store for that store associate to come back to you with that item that you went to purchase. You could wait there for an hour, 2 hours, who knows? Online, it's seconds. So the frustrations we'll cover come in three buckets. We'll kind of start with the first one here, which is a product that can't be seen, can't be sold. You've been an online shopper, perhaps you've been greeted with things like the oops or the whoops, or maybe even one of these cute dogs on Amazon. What we see is that approximately 30% of products suffer from lost visibility or low discoverability. All right, we saw products that were invisible. Here we see products that may be hard to discover. If I'm actually searching for t-shirts on Zalando, my brand has to be lucky to be one in the 113,000 items that may appear towards the top of the search. If I'm on the second, third, or 100th page of results, consumers will never be finding my products. People may also struggle to find my products if I'm a consumer looking for business cases and I land on this page to see jewelry. This one might be interesting if I'm inspired to go out and find insect and pest repellent type products and find this knife. Again, it makes it interesting because while the knife may work as a pest repellent, it's certainly not what I was intending to look for in my search. The second, we see a consumer that doesn't know about or trust a product will not buy it. Trust, I think, is a very important issue online. I experienced this myself as a consumer. But across the board, we see about 40% of products suffer from missing product information or contain inaccurate product information. I'd imagine coming to this page and seeing images missing. We may have no idea what we're looking for, kind of lose some trust or confidence. Here, we may lose some confidence as well when we see typos in the titles. This one, different case where we're looking at a title of body lotion, but an image of the chocolates. The kind of story continues where we've got titles of the Philips product, but a picture of an Oral-B toothbrush. arguably around the halls here of Inriver, this one is one of our favorites, where we're actually on this site in the fruit juice category, looking at a celebrations box of chocolates, by all accounts in the picture, but we're told that it's a spray for age ranges 25 to 48 months. And about the item talks about the fact that it's a bathroom cleaner. Very, very confusing, if not a bit funny for us, but devastating for the brand. It could also have effects on, say, things like construction projects. Here we went to Home Depot. We had an expectation this was 25 feet. We actually take it out of the box, get ready to do our project to find out it's 18 feet, 8 inches. So this product discrepancy would actually have a big effect on the overall project. Next, we see a product that can't be supplied, will not be sold. Right? This one seems to be fairly intuitive, but we actually see that 30% of the products out there are actually out of stock, which would be quite unfortunate if I were doing a search here looking for televisions. Maybe I actually aspire to buy one from Samsung. Here I see that theirs is out of stock and unavailable. This other Samsung choice is equally as unavailable, unfortunately. This LG one, maybe that caught my eye. Can't buy that one either, but I can buy this neighboring Toshiba one, which is an interesting thought, right? We don't buy with the same brand loyalty that we used to. We used to head to the store with a brand in mind, go to that aisle of the store and buy from that brand. Today, we're on this endless aisle as we're shopping online, and if we see our favorite brand out of stock, we quickly shift to another brand, which we may do in this case of diapers, right? We may have been buying diapers from Pampers for a number of years, but they happen to be out of stock. So we're actually quickly suggested with an alternate brand, a brand that we've never heard of, but actually looks quite good from its packaging and the way it's represented here on the site. So we may choose to buy this out of necessity, which may cause us to fall in love with this brand. And now this new brand has a customer for life, and the previous one lost a customer. This one actually is a bit challenging as well. It actually says this product is available in 3 weeks. That may or may not be the case, but that's what's being represented here. And if that's the case and I needed a speaker, I'd certainly head somewhere else to get it much faster. So long story short, shoppers are certainly getting upset. You and I are during our shopping experience. In order to get inside the mind of an online shopper a little bit more, we invest heavily in consumer insights here at Inriver. We do a yearly study. The last time it was done was with 6,000 respondents. We did it across the US, the UK, and in Germany. And the results that came back, we've aggregated into a couple of these bullets, which I think are quite interesting. We see that 64% say that they're likely to purchase a similar product from another brand if they can't find an item online that they look for. That's what we kind of just talked about on the previous slide. 69% say that they have decided not to buy a product because of poor content. Again, lack of trust in the brand when they start to see things are a bit off. 83% say that they get angry or frustrated when they run into a bad or inaccurate product information online. That is a significant percentage of angry shoppers. And then let's assume that all goes well. Actually, the conversion takes place. Unfortunately, the story is not over because 34% of those consumers actually end up returning products because it wasn't described online. It didn't meet the expectations. We've talked a lot about this as a B2C problem, but it's not just that. It's also a B2B problem. B2B buyers now prefer and even expect online shopping experience that mimic the B2C commerce approach. We're seeing that there are multiple channels being used in the same transaction. That means 78% of the time someone is being influenced by e-commerce, even in a B2B transaction. 66% prefer remote human interactions or digital self-service. That is an increasing number and quite interesting. 7 in 10 will switch supplier if a digital buying process disappoints. So the digitization in B2B is in full swing as well. But this is not just about buying online. Imagine, and this would probably be quite easy to do, imagine you were this shopper inside of Home Depot. You may be kind of lost inside of the aisles, or you may be curious about a certain product, to which you bring out your phone and do a search on your product, right? 62% of consumers actually start their product research using a marketplace or retailer. And you may be doing that right there within the aisles of the store. And if you end up with that being a bad experience, again, a oops or a whoops or that cute dog or something out of stock, that's going to influence what happens in the store for you. And that's a big, devastating effect on the brand. So much so that you notice as we're kind of talking through here that to a large extent, these issues kind of compound against each other, right? If things go bad from an online experience, there's kind of a domino effect that kind of takes us into the physical experience as well. And affecting physical revenue is a big issue and something worth paying attention to. This also has some sustainability kind of angle to it, right? These demands are growing. We're seeing this again today as consumers. We're probably more curious than we've ever been about the traceability of the products that we're buying. So as consumers are becoming more demanding, looking for this traceability information, brands need to be supplying that information. And if they're not doing that, they should be on top of it from an audit perspective. So this audit software is not just to see if a product is there or if particular details are matching up. It should also be checking for sustainability details as well. Digital product passport is something that's kind of picking up steam here in the US. It's been in Europe for a hot topic in Europe for quite some time. In the coming years, there's going to be legislation that is going to require brands to actually provide a certain amount of tracking details about their products. This will affect some categories faster than others. So this is actually becoming quite a legal issue as well, which shouldn't come as a huge surprise. We've seen examples of this already with Proposition 65, the Safe Drinking Water and Toxic Enforcement Act of 1986. This has been in place in California and for brands that are not adhering to it, like we see here with this particular duffel bag. They're all already penalties in place. And these numbers can start to add up as we see a $2,500 per violation per day fee imposed. Again, let's say that's 30 SKUs. Let's take the $2,500, let's say it's 7 days. We start thinking about hundreds of thousands of dollars per week, maybe 525K in that instance. So what do we do about this? Well, I think we need to be mindful of digital shelf analytics and kind of explore how it can help. And that's what we're doing here at Inriver. We do that with our platform that allows products to go on a bit of a journey. So the journey kind of starts with the collection of data. Obviously, the PIM and the platform that we have here would get you the workflow and tools to enhance your data, very strong to map and transform and distribute that data. But the fun and the journey doesn't stop there. It should also go into analysis as well. And that's for the reasons that we've already spoke about. This analyze phase would allow us to feed great information back into the PIM, to the enhanced portion of the journey, to allow us to close the loop and create an iterative approach here to content development. We're fortunate enough here at Inriver to actually have two solutions that offer digital shelf analytics. They're very complementary to one another. We have Channel Insights, which we'll dive into as an entry-level digital shelf solution. We've got Inriver Evaluate, which is a lot more comprehensive and takes a deeper dive and helps you close that loop with your PIM data. And of course, we believe the best of both worlds is having both of those inside of your PIM environment. I promised we'd take a bit of a dive into Channel Insights. So here we are. We've got it built into the PIM environment. Every PIM user for free sees it live on their dashboard when they log in. You're getting visibility into 10 SKUs spread across 2 retailers, giving them an at-a-glance view of all their tracked SKUs week over week. We're going to update this kind of pre-scraped pool of information weekly. We spread across multiple categories that are most important to our customer base, such that information is coming back into our platform and helping our users. This is category level data that we're bringing back, which means we're going to go out to sites like Costco and we're going to go to computers and iPads and tablets, kind of category. And from a page like that, we're going to be able to get some of these insights that can become actionable, right? We're going to get things like the assortment and ranking per brand in each category. We get visibility into the pricing here, the availability, the ratings, and the product titles. With that type of scraping or crawling approach with our spiders, we again have this available on our dashboard as an insights tab here. Easily configured by the user themselves. You actually come in here and configure to pick off which brand, which retailer, and based off that combination, which product SKUs you'd like under audit. And we go ahead and finish that as the user. We come back and refresh the tab here on the dashboard, and we're getting that insight brought right here on the page for us. We're looking across a couple of brands in these examples, 10 products across a couple of retailers, and we're immediately seeing the visibility in stock, category ranks, category names, even a live link here to jump back to that product page if we'd like to. Right next door, we even see a live link to the category. So in the case of Chromebooks, if we wanted to see what was top in that category at that moment in time, we could use that link to do that. We could certainly use our category ranking tab inside of Channel Insights to do that as well. Here we're seeing the different brands that we're scraping. We're also seeing competitive brands as well. A real opportunity for us to see how our products are stacking up on certain retailers within certain categories. The next solution I mentioned was Inriver Evaluate. Again, the perfect complement to Channel Insights, which is happening on the dashboard, is Evaluate, which is happening elsewhere in the PIM. It can be added by a customer into their PIM environment. It's got more flexibility in terms of the SKUs. You track unlimited websites. Basically, you're going to tell us where our spiders need to go to find your specific PIM products. It's not fishing from a pool. We're going to go ahead and grab that information for you. We're going to go out to websites and we're going to use category information, but we're going to go down to the product as well to get great information back into our platform at a higher frequency. Some of the metrics we're going to bring back daily, we'll look at it somewhere weekly as well. Here, again, we're going to look at the category search results, but also the product detail page. So a bit of where we're going for Channel Insights, but a bit deeper as well, all the way down to this product detail page. And when we're here, this is where we get information into what's visible. Here's where we get information into what the stock levels are, even get access to the pricing info. We do information on category ranking at a weekly level. We do search ranking weekly as well. Same for content compliance. Very important that the information that you've got stored in your PIM representing those products is what you're seeing online. There are certain keywords that you like to appear in your titles and in your descriptions. There's certain imagery that you want to make sure that appearing on the digital shelf. Similar to what we saw earlier, we'll also be capturing a web shot of each and every PDP, so you have information available to you. Let's dive even deeper into Evaluate, where we can cover off the pillars here that actually correspond to the challenges that we'd seen earlier. We had touched on that product that can't be seen, can't be sold. That's our display pillar. Here we're going to track the visibility with trend lines and opportunity lists on the page with filter capabilities down the right-hand side. Same trends and opportunities with filters, but this time tracking search performance. The next tracking the category rankings. Second one was a consumer that doesn't know about or trust a product will not buy it. This is the Inspire pillar within our platform. Here we're tracking the content execution in terms of is it the right content initially when we syndicate, and does it remain the right content over time? We're going to track the ratings and reviews. Here, a product that can't be supplied will not be sold. That's our next pillar, the convert pillar, where we see our ability inside of Evaluate in our platform to track your out of stock, to track your pricing information, checking how volatile and variable it becomes over time. We didn't think that was good enough just to put that inside of our platform, not just on the dashboard from a Channel Insights perspective, not just on the Evaluate tab. From that perspective, we also wanted to get the information directly into the user and into their workflow. So while we have it on Evaluate, we also have the ability in our workflow. We typically have people using different work area queries to zoom in on certain products. The product of today might be this particular faucet. If we get ourselves to this point and over to the Insights tab, we are right where we're about to do some enrichment on the details. We're able to get some insights from this information right here on the page. If we wanted to see if we were compliant or not, that's visible right here at time of enrichment, making this very actionable. We see the 360-degree view here as well. Very similar to before, we have an opportunity to jump out to the URL. This is how this particular product looked at the very moment. And we actually get to see the picture of what it looked like at the time of scrape as well. Not just the top of the page web shot, but the entire web shot. So we can actually keep on top of what needs to be adjusted, representing our brand the way it should be. So we've been moving along fairly quickly here. I think we're getting ready to summarize a bit. I think we could actually take this example of if you, as the viewer and myself, were to go out and start a company, we could be clever and go for White Shoe Incorporated. I think we could probably agree that life would actually be pretty easy. I'm not sure how many sales we'd get of our just plain white shoes, but it would certainly make things easy. let's not take the easy way out. Let's actually start to embrace some of this complexity. Let's do some fun colors to our shoes. Let's offer our shoes in different sizes, and let's do something cool with the laces or different accessories. Let's sell it in different markets, and let's appeal to different languages. And let's watch this explode as we get into a need to get into omni e-shops and out to the pure players and out to the different marketplaces, and maybe even start selling direct to get to these different shoppers. This problem explodes quickly based on the complexity of a product portfolio. So here again, we've got a solution from Inriver that allows your products to go on this journey, and it includes the very important step of the digital shelf analytics. So the platform is collecting the data once again, allowing you the right tools to enhance it and giving you the insights to take the next best action. We can distribute that information, analysis, feeding back, and the loop becomes quite cyclical and the development becomes quite iterative. You may wonder what the ROI is for a solution like this. I think the cheeky answer would be it kind of matters, right? It could be zero if you don't do anything with the information. It could be wildly valuable if you do take action, right? But it depends on what findings we come across, where these lost opportunities are found really influences the ROI. Which of your products are being exposed to these lost sales opportunities? Is it your best sellers? Is it the long tail of your assortment? When these are occurring, obviously you want to avoid situations like this taking place before a big shopping event like a Black Friday. How quickly you act, right? Just because we're surfacing this information for you doesn't mean it's fixing itself. You need to take some action on this. So how actionable you make things via your enrichment process and publish it back out will play a role into the ROI on this, of course. But if we break down some of the lost sales opportunities like we have been when a SKU is not visible nor discoverable, if that happens, the potential lost sales is 100%. It's just not there. And that happens 30% of the time. So you can see the lost sales impact there. When a SKU has disjointed, missing, or incorrect content information, again, we're losing the trust of the buyer. That happens 69% of the time. 40% of the time, the lost sales impact would be 69% there. And when a SKU is out of stock on the digital shelf, happening 30% of the time, that has lost sale implications as well. So if we can address this information, if we can stay proactive with this information, we give ourselves the best chance to win on the digital shelf. But that leads, as we saw earlier, into the physical shelf as well. So thank you for your time. I appreciate you watching along with me here. To get a personalized demo of what we're talking about here, please feel free to scan the QR code that you have on the screen there. I welcome you to do that, and so we can reach out to you and engage in a conversation to see how we can help you on your digital journey and on the digital shelf.